All right, guys, I got Chase Litton on the line, quarterback from Marshall and 2018 NFL draft prospect. How you doing tonight, Chase?
Good. I'm doing really good. Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, no, we appreciate it. We appreciate you taking time out of your evening to talk to us. And one of the things, that excited us is we're in southern Ohio, pretty close to the West Virginia line. We frequent Huntington. We've been to Mardi Gras a time or two. I think that's Huntington, isn't it, or is it Charleston?
Charleston.
Cross Lanes. Huntington, West Virginia, yes, sir.
Cross Lanes, yeah. But yeah, we're glad to have you on the show. We appreciate it, man. And the first thing I got to ask, just because it had to be exciting, what was the combine experience like for you?
It was good. There's a lot of things that people don't see. There was one time I woke up at 3:15. Sprinted downstairs to the lobby to go take a drug test. It didn't start till 4, so I'm thinking, I'll wake up at 3:15. I'll get there early, and there's 50 people in front of me. And, at 3 o'clock in the morning, you didn't think anyone else was having the same idea as you, but, that wasn't fun. So you had to go take that test, and then I had like a 30-minute nap after that, and then I had about a 16-hour day. You're just going through hospital visits, and they're pulling and tearing on your body, seeing if you're okay. And, it's what you got to do, to do it. But it's obviously not, recommended. It's not everything that everybody wants to do. It's not, out there running 40s and that. But, I had a great time. I got to meet some really good people, really good coaches, and really just thought I had a pretty good performance.
Yeah, everything looked good. I mean, it's rare to have a guy of your size and stature that can wing the ball like you do
and move. You're a little more athletic than most of the quarterbacks out there running the 4.87. So that's always nice. Always nice to see a little bit of mobility in a big guy like you.
Yeah, there's some times on film you can see it. There's some times you can't. There's many plays I could have made more on with my feet, after I look at the film and broke it down throughout the season. And later on in the season, I made more and more because just got more comfort, got more comfortable. You got out of my comfort zone and really just had to realize I had to make some more plays with my feet. So, it was fun that I was allowed to show that I could run.
Yeah, and
a little bit.
And that's an exciting thing too, man, because it's, the combine is a lot of measurables and a lot of athletic ability, and we all, already know that you have that. But to even get there, you got to put in the work, and obviously you've put in the work to make it that far and to get there and to be a prospect. And that I think all those guys, yourself included, deserve a little pat on the back for that too. It's not all athleticism; it's hard work, it's intangibles, it's mental, and it's a lot of work. Like you said, getting up at 3:15 a.m. and going through the rigors of all that. I mean, that's
I really like that you just said that. And there's a lot of young kids out there. There's a lot of older people who've played the sport, who may not even fully understand what really you just said is hard work. That's the only thing in life that you can control is how hard you step in, how hard you go do something, how hard your effort. Only you can control that. And I really have tried taking a lot of pride in that, and taking pride in even with it being around younger guys or younger kids or people who are trying to play the game and want to play the game at the next level, at the highest level. Is, man, you just got to work hard. It's not gonna nothing in life, man. You wake up one morning, your life's gonna be the same. Football doesn't need us. Regardless, they're going to be able to play that 2018 season. Without any of us coming out of this draft class. So I'm glad you said that about the hard work, and I feel like a lot of people take that part for granted.
Yeah, and they shouldn't. I mean, me and both my co-hosts here, like we all three manage businesses, and we work to get there. I mean, obviously, any kind of athletic ability or just street smarts didn't get us there alone. I mean, you got to put in the work, and just from us to you, like we know you're a guy from Tampa that decided to go to Marshall. And but being a guy that decided to come over to Marshall, and you're close to us, and you've put in that hard work to get where you're at and have this chance at the NFL draft and to go to the combine, just being this close to Marshall and following your college career, we're proud of you, man. We wish you the best of luck and hope that you go to the right team and you work hard for them and make it work. And we're excited to watch the experience.
Yes, sir. No, thank you.
We're close.
It's always fun again. I'm in the Tampa International Airport the other day, and I mean, there's like 8 to 10 Kelly green shirts, and they're just down here for vacation. And it's just funny to see people like that. Marshall's everywhere.
That's got to feel good too.
Yeah, I loved it. You know, I walked up to them. They didn't know me from a can of paint. they didn't, you know, us wearing helmets and everything. They had no clue who I was, but I just wanted to. I introduced myself. I was like, listen, you know, I really love you guys for wearing these shirts, but I just had to let them know it's always Go Hood, and it'll always be that way.
You know, we're so close to Marshall. We actually we get in-state rates. Like, that's how close we are to West Virginia down here in Southern Ohio. But you know, you're in a long line of, you know, quarterbacks who definitely performed well at Marshall and then went on to have some success at the NFL. I think Chad Pennington, Byron Leftwich. You know, what's it like to be able to, you know, have to follow in footsteps of those kind of legends?
Yeah, I mean, those guys paved the way, and that's another thing that people don't realize is, man, like, without guys like that, you know, without guys who have been that successful at that level in college at Marshall and to be able to do the same thing in the NFL, man, those guys are the reason you have guys who look up to that. You have younger kids who always want to be that guy. And, you know, without guys like that, without the people before us, how would we ever know, like, the right way to do it? Who would we know to go to pick their brain? Who would we know, you know, to watch their journey and take the pros and cons from their journey to help yours? And so, again, you know, I mean, those guys, to see them, just to talk to Chad throughout the combine and to work out with Coach Leftwich, whether it was at the pro day, whether it was at, you know, meeting for the Cardinals, or, you know, when I worked out with him at the combine. I mean, just to be able to have a guy, you know, who it's not just football. You know, it's not just, oh, if you don't go throw this 8 and put it on his helmet, you know, we're not going to talk to you. It's not like that, man. You know, they're good people. And when you find good players who are good people, I mean, it's just a wonder to be around, because not only can you pick their brain about sports, you can pick up about life, you know, ways to do this, ways to do that. And so, you know, I've been lucky enough to have those Marshall greats in front of me reach out and support me throughout this process.
Now, I do have a question for you. Have you met a guy named Pete Woods? He was a center for you for a national championship team you guys had.
No, sir. I don't believe so.
He was a coach of mine in high school. It's the reason why I was asking. He proudly sports his national championship ring right before you guys made that jump to Division I. That's the reason why I asked. He's a great human being. You ever get the pleasure to meet him, I promise you'll really enjoy his company.
I bet I will. Especially a big offensive lineman, man. Those guys are crazy.
Especially from West Virginia, probably big old boys, hometown boys.
Yeah, big old country guy. Yeah.
We were the offensive line. He referred to us as the Mules. Made us bring a lunchbox to work every day. It was
bring that pale lunchbox. Listen, I know all about it. I love that. I love that. That's the thing. You know, those guys are the hardest working guys, the smartest group on the team. Man, those guys are the whole heart and soul of every single football team, man. And people on the outside in don't understand that.
Yeah, trust me. Being a linebacker and a lineman in high school, I was nowhere near any sort of big college prospect or anything, but very underappreciated job. You know, it's nice to see a quarterback of your profile appreciate what you have in front of you, protecting you every day.
Oh yeah, and no matter how good you are and athletically gifted, I mean, without good guys in the trenches to help you out, I mean, some guys have had the ability and the work ethic, and sometimes you get behind the wrong group of guys, and it can just make everything go south. So it's good to hear appreciation.
You see all-time greats like Marino, never have a ring. I mean, it's not obviously.
You hit me there. I'm a Dolphins fan, man.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, you're good. It's good to hear Marino. I'm a big Dolphins fan, and to hear you say Marino just made my heart tingle a little bit.
So, Chase, do you have which obviously I know that you're going to be happy with any team who, gives you an opportunity.
Sorry about that.
You're all right. You're fine. Like I said, you'll be happy with any team that gives you the opportunity to compete, but do you have a favorite team, a team you grew up with?
I grew up in Tampa. I had a lot of buddies who were diehard Tampa fans, and always used to talk trash, like, hoping to, they weren't happy and what I'm saying, and talking all that crap after that. But, I'm not really I'm a football guy, man. I watch football. I watch, good players play. That's really what always intrigued me. I always grew up watching 18 and watching the success he had and how good he was, and how he was a pro on and off the field. And, man, I always look up to Peyton Manning. That guy, everything he's done. So I guess you could say I was a Colts fan. But I just watched good football, and I enjoyed good football.
And you sound like you're a student of the game more than anything. Obviously, you're a hard worker. You're a great athlete. I've said it a million times. It seems like there's not 32 people walking the planet that are NFL quarterbacks. But, being a student of the game is a very important aspect of that. And to model yourself after arguably the smartest quarterback to ever play the game, like that speaks volumes to me. And something you said a minute ago, you watched the tape. You said, oh, man, I could have made a play with my legs there. And to change yourself, to adjust the way you play to help you be a better athlete, a better teammate, and hopefully a better pro, that's something that's going to get you real far, in the NFL.
Yeah, a lot of guys, again, take this part for granted. When I say that, you always preach, hey, get in the film room, study this, say if we're about to play, NC State this week, get in there, watch NC State. But you got to watch yourself, man. You got to go back and watch the game that you just played in. You got to watch the practice you just had. And why I say that is because there's so many little tendencies that people can catch on. I mean, there's tendencies that we caught on from the offense looking at the defense, so I know it's the same for them looking at us. So, I mean, whether it's every time it's a pass, you lead a certain way, or maybe if it's a run play, you touch your towel before. Like, you just got to – it's little things you got to study. And because – especially at this next level, man, because everybody's good. Everyone's very good. There's not bad players in the NFL. And the thing is, they're so good that, they study the film. And it's crazy because how talented they are, but how smart they are as well. So you got to really – like, that's the most important part of this football game, man, is a student of the game. And, I mean, you look at Tom Brady, he's not throwing the ball 80 yards like Josh Allen. That's not – and I'm not comparing the two, but I'm just saying that Tom Brady is a typical 100%, you just preached it, bring in the lunch pail, come to work every single day, and be the greatest every single time. And that's why people claim him as the greatest. That's why I say he's the greatest. That's why, it's because of production, because of wins. And, it doesn't take you have to run a 4.4 to do that. It doesn't take you to be able to throw the ball 80 yards to do that. You got to win. You got to have one more point on the board than the team across from you does. And that's all that matters. And so, again, when you look at guys like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, they're winners. They're not just really good quarterbacks. They're winners. And, I'll take the winner category over anything else. So
we have literally talked about that on this show multiple times, just going through the draft process. I mean, and we're not going to knock any quarterback coming into the draft. Every guy deserves to be there. Every guy's got the ability and has put in the work. But you see guys like yourself and a Baker Mayfield and guys like that you just see that extra little bit of wanting to win and lead their team. It's not just about going out there and putting up a bunch of stats. It's being a winner and wanting to win. And
kind of, you don't have to be a mobile quarterback, but you're a quarterback who can be mobile. Take the numbers off the page. What did he do to change the game? To me, and we've kind of analyzed throughout the NFL who was successful in college and who had a losing record, their junior and senior year of college. And typically speaking, if you don't win in college, you're not going to win at the NFL level. And that's something that we can't knock you on for sure, because you've been a winner. And, if given the right opportunity, I couldn't see anything less than you continuing that trend at the next level.
Yeah, there's some games, my sophomore season, I didn't play well enough. I had, again, if you look at it like this, look at my freshman year to my sophomore season, I had better stats. I had better stats from my sophomore season to my junior season. But that doesn't mean anything. We were last in the league in rushing. And when I say last in the league in rushing, it's not because of our running backs or our O-line. You have to be able to throw the ball. You have to be able to spread out the offense. You have to be able to do everything. You can't just be one-dimensional. And I had to change my role from a sophomore to junior. My passing touchdowns went down. I had a bit more turnovers, and I'm trying to make plays. And when I'm able to go from a sophomore who I'm taking 5-step drops in the shotgun, and I'm just throwing it to my junior year, where I had the keys. If I see certain things, I'm allowed to check out of it. Last year we came off we had 2 backs rush for over 800 yards. One was a freshman. We had so much team success. We had 3 true freshmen on the offensive line with a sophomore center. We had 3 true freshmen, a sophomore center, and a junior left guard.
Wow!
Like all those, these aren't guys who are 5th-year seniors. These aren't guys who have started all 4 years. These are guys who are young guys, but they're so good, but they're even better students. And when I say better students is, I was allowed to, if I wanted to check, I was allowed to check anything I wanted to check. And so when I say that, when I look to my right and I see Tariq Adams, who's a 18-year-old right tackle starting against NC State, Bradley Chubb is about to go be a top 5 pick, and B.J. Hill and all them who are all going to get drafted. You know what I'm saying? He takes it and he listens to me and he says, "All right, listen, Chase, just check this. We're going to do this." And it's just communication. It's teamwork. That's all it ever is, man. We didn't have a better line this year than we did last year. We just communicated better. We knew the game more, and that all comes from experiences and reps. That's really it.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not all about the stats and you throwing for this or throwing for that. You get to also, when you are willing to change your game like that from freshman to sophomore season, you get to take pride in what you're helping to create. With the defensive sphere of your arm, with helping those guys hit 800 yards rushing apiece and helping those linemen to learn different assignments, or you checking out of something, and you have to appreciate that as well. I mean, it sounds like you do, and it's comforting to hear that it wasn't all a stats game, and it wasn't Madden on the field. You're out there to help your guys, and in turn they're going to help you.
You weren't trying to get yours; you were trying to win a game.
Nah, man, we just wanted to win. If you find a player who says they don't want to win, then I guess you just don't talk to them.
They're probably not at the combine with you, so.
Exactly, man. You gotta, and it's a culture, man. It starts with the team. Coaches can't sit there and a coach can sit there and preach, but if the guys inside the locker room don't change the culture, then the culture will never change. And it takes the vets, it takes the young guys, it takes everybody on the team to sit there and to adapt and buy in. That's what we did our last year. Obviously, it didn't finish. We wanted to win conference. But when you have a guy like me who likes to force the ball, you lose a game you shouldn't lose. But I miss those guys. I love them to death. I already know. I FaceTime them. All the time. I think I talked to like 9 different players today and a couple coaches because I just wanted to hear how they were doing, man.
Yeah,
it's exciting. I'm excited for them. And so I can't wait to watch they're actually going to do like a Facebook Live, and their spring game's on the 28th, and that's the last day of the draft. And so I'm going to have like my laptop and watching the spring game, so I'll be excited to watch them.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. I actually, how this was all set up. I saw you on Instagram with one of your boys that you played with, and it's just really cool to see you enjoying yourself with the people that you came up with at Marshall, and it's just nice to see.
Yeah, and that's a forever, that's a forever thing. That's not just I took pride in it when I was in high school. It's a 4-year commitment, it's a 40-year commitment, not a 4-year commitment. You're not just committed to them while you're there and you never talk to them, man. That'll be forever my school, forever my teammates, and forever my coaches. It's not something that'll ever change.
They're your brothers, not your teammates.
Oh, exactly. That's family, man.
We love hearing that, man. I mean, that's we appreciate a whole lot when anyone agrees to come on the show for whatever reason, because we're just doing a small podcast in Southern Ohio, just trying to appreciate football and the guys who love to play, and we appreciate you for being a good teammate and for coming on and helping us out tonight and talking to us a little bit. So it's awesome, man. It has been this has so far been. This has been fantastic, man. This is exactly what I hoped for in talking to somebody so close to home for us.
So I got a couple questions for you. First off, what brought you? I mean, obviously there's great tradition with Marshall, but why did you choose Marshall?
Yeah, I saw you had LSU as an option, and South Florida. And was there something about Marshall that just attracted you?
Well, I had those offers when I was younger. When I was a sophomore. Yes, sir. And I did a couple things throughout my high school career, and ended up committing to USF heading into my senior season, and I ended up decommitting from USF a couple months later. They had a coaching change. There was a lot of things that went on with that, and so I ended up decommitting from USF. On signing day, man, I had no offers. I don't have one school to go to on National Signing Day. I'm sitting there in my basketball jumpsuit, watching my teammates, my brothers, sign their letter of intent to go play football, whether it was D1 to NAIA. I was there, but man, I didn't have a school. I really didn't know, what I was going to do. I knew I was going to play football because that's something I've always wanted to do. I didn't know if I was going to have to take a JUCO route or a prep school route or anything. I didn't know what was going to go on. No one talked to me, and so ended up I was going to attend a prep school, so I ended up trying to reclassify. That's when Doc Holliday came to the school and said, "Listen, Chase, you don't have to do that. You know, we've had some guys who have gone here, gone there, and you don't have to do all that. You know, we can bring you in January, or we can offer you a scholarship right now, full ride for January, and you can come in there, and then or you can walk on now, and then we'll put you on scholarship in January." My family didn't have the money to do that, especially being an out-of-state program coming from Florida there. And so I ended up taking those 5 months off. I was just training. I was just working out, throwing. I mean, I was sitting at the house. I wasn't doing anything. You know, all my buddies were out playing college football, you know, and I'm sitting at the house. And so it was a really tough experience. Those 5 months, man, people were like, "Oh, you had a break? You had that?" Man, I was probably at my lowest of lows, you know, because I wanted to play ball. I wasn't in school. You know, I was lifting and throwing every day, but it's not the same. It's not the same as being on a team. It's not the same as being in workouts or being around those guys. Like, that's not, it's not life, man. And so I missed the hell out of it, but I was lucky enough to go up there for bowl prep and practice for bowl prep with Cato and those guys, and then leave and come back in January 4th and start my career at Marshall.
It's awesome, man. And it worked out for you. I mean, you're where you're at with this great opportunity later in the month, and you've made those 40-year friendships that you talked about, and can't get any better than that. So we're 100% happy that it worked out for you just the way it has.
So what's the experience like? I know there's a lot of bigger school guys that, a lot of these, draft beatniks or whatever, they have you ranked above people that were much more higher profile, like think of JT Barrett or someone like that. What's that like? Does it feel like a testament to your hard work paying off?
The testament to that won't be until I'm done playing football and I have X amount of this or Y amount of that, man. It's not, I can't sit here and get, what's the term I'm looking for? I guess comfortable. I haven't done anything. I haven't made a penny in the National Football League. I haven't played it down. I haven't thrown a touchdown. So, I mean, it's cool to hear this and that, but I mean, that's why there's preseason All-Americans and there's postseason All-Americans, and they remember the postseason ones. It's that doesn't mean anything until you put those pads on and go out on the field. Is it cool to hear my name said with certain things? Yes and no. I'm biased. Obviously, you feel like you're the best one, and every quarterback you ever talk to, you better say that they're the best quarterback out, because that's just how a quarterback needs to be, is confident. Like cool and collective all the time, but always confident and always oozing of confidence. But yeah, I mean, it's cool, but again, I'd be lying to you if I've been looking into that or been reading that stuff, because again, it's all irrelevant until you get that phone call, until you step on the field, until you play. That's what matters.
Well spoken, my man. Never get comfortable until it's time to be done.
Now, as far as your career at Marshall, you've won a lot of games there. What was the most exciting moment? Most exciting win, most exciting play that you had at Marshall?
My freshman year, first game of the season, Purdue game, I didn't play a down, not one down. I didn't sweat. I might have sweat in warm-ups. That was about it. But I'll never forget, man, that feeling of beating Purdue, of the fans, of my players, of my teammates. Just that feeling alone it was my first college game ever, and just to be around that, just to see the energy, to see the excitement, to see the joy of what winning does for people is just, second to none. And then just to see, man, my coach is happy, but really my teammates, going crazy. When I say going crazy, I don't mean out doing stupid stuff. I mean just because that's what you do. You prep for big time games. You prep for big time moments, and there's many times in that game, things weren't looking for us, but that defense kept pushing for us. There's times Mike wasn't hitting this receiver or hitting that receiver, but that last drive when he came down, he went 4 for 4 and led us to a game, led us to a win. I mean, the dude played with his heart, the dude played with his guts, and I'll never ever forget that moment, man. That was by far my favorite Marshall moment ever. Is just, and I didn't even play. I was just watching, but just to be a part of that and be with them, man, I'll never forget that.
That speaks a lot to your character, my friend. For you to, your most exciting moment was a moment you didn't touch the field. I mean, that says a lot to me about who you are as a man. So,
Awesome.
It was that thrill,